Good evening. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming with breaking news. War has somehow broken out earlier this month between Chahar and Taealar after the World Faire. Both sides are blaming each other for the aggression, but Emperor Gragos of Chahar had this to say. The tyranny of Taealar must be stopped. My son, Prince Zarad, broke into the royal palace in Bayar, intending to kidnap the Princess of Taealar, and was caught. I sent a regiment of soldiers to retrieve my son and bring him to Chahar for justice. But when the regiment arrived in Bayar, the soldiers found him dead, and the Taean chased them from the streets, firing upon them with arrows. I have now declared war. This injustice must be repaid. Meanwhile, King Draedo condemned the actions of Emperor Gragos, saying that he should have controlled his son from the start. Reports from the field say that civilians were seen watching the first exchange at Erak, thinking that the battle was going to be entertaining and quickly resolved. But many were then chased from the city as the Taeans took control over Erak. Civilians are now fleeing from the border towns, flocking to fortified cities. We'll be back with the report right after this break. Ever wanted your worlds to come to life and have a map on your wall, but never had enough money to pay for the high price of fantasy commissions? Well, now we introduce to you custom mappables. Highly customizable maps made to fit whatever world you have created for the low price of only $10. We did the hard part, now all that's missing are your names, your world, your story. We return with urgent updates from Chahar. Only moments ago, Emperor Gragos met with the High King Anŷn of the Elves in the capital city of Lena Desapil to discuss an alliance. Many Anŷn citizens are outraged at the king's meeting, and some are calling for war with the Taean, calling the meeting patriotism. Our very own Ethan number 2 is there in the capital city awaiting for the High King's answer. Ethan number 2, how is the situation in Anŷn looking? Thank you, Ethan number 1. The High King has just ordered the assembly out from his chambers, including Emperor Gragos, to discuss with his council. There seem to be two factions here in Lena. The younger generation who want to side with Taealar, and the older elves who want to side with Chahar. I think, oh yes, the High King is coming out now onto his balcony. Let's see if we can't hear him. Citizens of Anŷn, I have come to a decision on whether or not we will side with the Chaharians. For many years we have lived in peace with both the Taeans and the Chaharians under our elven freedom. Freedom, mind you, that was bought with the help of the Chaharians centuries ago from the Anŷn. Our Chaharians have done nothing but help raise up the Anŷn way of life, and the Taeans have all but helped us. That is why we must fight with the Chaharians. You heard it here first, folks. The High King of Anŷn has just sided with the Chaharians. What this means for the war, I have no idea, but it looks like it's turning in favor of the Chaharians. Back to you in the studio, Ethan number 1. Thank you, Ethan number 2, for that detailed report on the goings-on in Anŷn. In other news, it seems that both the Taeans and the Anŷ have heard the news as well, and King Corsus has extended a helping hand to the Taeans, even inviting King Draedo to the Dwarven capital. Reports say that King Draedo met with Bayar and met with his scientists to discuss a new weapon. We have an inside source at the labs of Bayar who has seen this new weapon firsthand. For the sake of our insider's safety, we have applied a voice distorter and will call him Anonymous Ethan. This is what Anonymous Ethan had to say.
I have been infiltrating the labs and foundries here in Taealar ever since the Taeans began creating their weapon in secret just a few weeks ago. The Taeans have been importing mass amounts of iron and steel for their mines in Alanhul. This weapon they are calling the rifle, and it is comparable to a crossbow. Except the rifles shoot bullets that are the size of a pea at the speed of 100 crossbows. That is all I have been able to decipher. I will try to get more information. Goodbye for now.
The front lines have been experiencing this new rifle, as the Taeans are calling it. Reports from the front say that they have seen the new Alani beast barreling through the lines, wielding their rifles. Many say the Alani are calling their contribution to the weapon tanks and are covered in stone and steel armor. The soldiers of the Eastern Alliance call them dragons in dwarven form. We go now to our frontline correspondent, Ethan number 3, for his take on the dwarven tanks. Ethan number 3? Yes, hello, Ethan number 1. The din here on the battle plane is quite loud. I'm sure, as you can hear, rifles are going off almost every moment, and swords are clattering against the tank armor. The Chaharians and Anŷn are retreating as we speak to seek cover in the hills. Their generals are eagerly searching for a solution to the tanks. It doesn't look like anything will come of the Chaharian retreat, though. The tanks are quite quick for their size. I will try to keep up with the retreat. Back to you, Ethan number 1. Thank you for your courage on this ever-evolving story, Ethan number 3. Stay safe out there. An alliance in the east and rifles in the west. One side has the upper hand and the other side outmaneuvers them. A wild story to say the least. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors. Be sure to tune in this Friday for the next installment of Live Streams with Ethan. The story of Aetos and the war within unfolds piece by piece, both sides vying for control. Which side will win? Be sure to tune in this Friday at 7 p.m. MDT for Live Streams with Ethan. And we're back. Breaking news from Chahar is just unfolding. It seems a turncoat from Taealar has delivered the rifle plans to the Chaharians, enabling them to explore their own weapon. An explosion has racked the Black Desert, setting the Chaharians back, but it seems they have been able to overcome the explosion with their very own weapon. Massive artillery cannons are now rolling over the plains towards the front lines at the Dominion Tree. The Alani tanks are mobilizing to meet them. We have a reporter on the ground to keep us updated on the battle at Dominion, but until then, we have an arms expert here with us to talk about the artillery cannons. Dr. Scientist Ethan, tell us about these new weapons and how they could impact the Battle of Dominion.
Well, actually, I don't believe they will impact the battle all that much. The Chaharians have barely even tested these massive war machines all that much, and they are far too big to have any conclusive results in the lab. I think the Alani tanks will outmaneuver the Chaharian artillery, resulting in...
I'm sorry to interrupt, Dr. Scientist Ethan, but it seems Ethan number 3 has a report for us in the front lines. Ethan? Yes, thank you, Ethan number 1. As you can definitely hear, the artillery cannons are more than loud. They can fire much farther than the Taean rifles and are able to shoot very far. The cannons are obliterating the Alani tanks before they can even get to the cannons. And the Western Alliance's battle line is being efficiently broken apart by the Easterners. A mistake concealed behind this rock here until I can get more information to you. Back to you in the studio. Thank you, Ethan number 1. Well, Dr. Scientist Ethan, what do you think about this new development?
It is very surprising to say the least. I can't believe the rock-solid, pun intended, fortifications of the Alani tanks are being destroyed by these Chaharian weapons. In fact,
I must interrupt again, Doctor. Ethan number 3 is coming to us once again with an update. Go ahead, Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan number 1. Things are once again silent on the battle plane. It seems as if the remaining Taeans and Chaharians are in a stalemate. The Alani tanks and the Anŷn horsemen got taken out a long time ago, and it's been the Taeans and Chaharians the last few hours. Recently, there has been no action as the Chaharians protect their remaining immobile cannon, and the Taeans stay outside of the cannon's range. I don't see anything happening anytime soon, but I'll keep you updated.
Thank you, Ethan number 3. A stalemate. Both sides must have fought well. Well, that is all I have for you for now. When there is an update on the war between the East and the West, you will hear it here first, but until then, good night.